this is Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead and welcome to Fabric Friday. I was making some clothes the other day, a top, and it seemed to drape in the wrong place and I wanted it more fitting. So I put a dart in it and then I realised I haven't shown you how to do a dart and how easy they actually are. So if you make something that just doesn't hang right, it bunches out, you can put a dart in it yourself, because as you know I have a few patterns but I rarely go on them, and this top that I made, no pattern for it, similar to the top I've got on, no pattern for that either, but this one, with it being more of a jersey knit material, it was alright, but round the bust line it was a bit too saggy, so I put a dart in it, and that's what I'm going to show you now. Right, I've dug out one of my patterns that you need to put a dart in for. So I've got some scrap material because I aren't making this thing, so I'll put it there as though you had cut it out, and you can see these lines. Zoom you in a bit. You can see these lines that denote where your dart is going to go. Now obviously some patterns may have one dart, some will have two. If you're doing a couple of, if the pattern covers several sizes, there might be different lines that refer to different sizes. So keep a note on that and watch out for it. Now you've got little circles at the end, near the top and about halfway down. Those are the points that you want to watch out for. Now I've got an air erase pen here. If it's a pattern that's never been marked before, never been used, just mark it with a pen. Get whatever thing you're marking it with. It could be chalk, it could be air erasable, water erasable, and just score slightly and pull it, and that should give you enough room to make the mark. It's very, very warm today. I think I'll be getting me fan out. And there are two more marks. I always as well come up to the top and just mark the top where those lines are, so that also tells me. Now if you have double the fabric, say you were putting it on the fold but you need it both sides, you've got two fabric pinned, so what you would do is once you've marked this side, you can take the paper off, and I'll show you that bit in a minute. Let's have a look, see if this has done the markings. And there are your markings. So there are your markings. The middle bit, the two centre ones, the two top dots, and at the very end. Now I wouldn't normally do this if I was making a pattern, but just to make it show up better, let's just join all those. Now you can see a bit better. Now if you've got the fabric doubled over because it was on a fold or whatever, and you need to do the same markings on the other underside, what you would do is put your pin in the lower dot, push it all the way through, turn it over to your bottom fabric, and then mark there. Turn it back again and do it in all the other spots, so your bottom fabric will have exactly the same markings in exactly the same places, and then you can deal with each one individually. Now what needs happening here for a dart is we're basically pulling the material together, lining up the dots. I'll put a pin in there to denote where it goes. Find your end dot, and your middle two should just line up, but the pins get in the way. Hurt. Right, but that's actually the wrong way round, because you sew from the top right down to the very end. So let's move my pins. Now you take it to your sewing machine, take it to your sewing machine and sew down, and I'll take you over there now because you have to be careful on this. Now I am sewing this with red cotton. Normally you do it in the same colour thread as your fabric, but so you can see it better, and so I don't have to change because I've just been using red, I'm leaving it in so you can see. Now obviously you don't want to sew over your pins, so take your top one out. Yes, I've still got one of these Luda strips, scrap strips that I use. Now if you've got the knee lift, you can put your fabric right in front, just like that. If you haven't, then you can use the back, and then just basically follow down. Make sure you do not sew over your pins. Your machine will not like it. Let me put my other glasses on. That's better. Now, the pins are just as a mark for us, but we've found there is that little dot. So we want to slowly go in to the dot, check where it is, go all the way down to the very dot itself and straight off the fabric. Where my scissors there. And when we fold it out and press it, there is a lovely dart. Now if you leave your threads long, you can just stitch them in so it won't come undone. if you backtrack here, then it will leave a bulk there. So you leave an end and then of your thread, and then you can hand stitch that end in. I don't. I'm idle. A little bit of bulk does not bother me. But they're so easy. On the top that I made, I tried it on, it fitted, but as I say, it was a bit loose. So I just pinned where I wanted the dart to be and put one in. And they're a simple thing. So if you've got some item of clothing that you like, but doesn't quite fit you, so a dart will help. So there we are. Thank you. Bye.